What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Learn to Defend Cyber. My name is Joseph, and today we're going to be working on the phishing analysis tools room from Tryhackme. So let's go ahead and dig in. I've got things spinning up in the background, and I'm going to go ahead and pivot over and hope it doesn't break. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and hide the chat box for now, just because we don't have anybody in here at this very moment. Go ahead and click allow, and these double arrows down here in the bottom right allow us to pop this out into our own browser, so we can have our virtual machine over here. So, phishing analysis tools. Last time I streamed, we kind of went through different phishing techniques and analyzed those. Today, we're going to actually look at the tools used to check out phishing emails and make sure we are able to gather different IOCs, or IOAs, also known as indicators of compromise and attack, and stop these emails from getting into the environment again, and overall just analyze them. So, first and foremost, introduction. In this room, we will look at various tools that will aid us in the phishing emails, and here are objectives. We just hit this to complete. This is a list of information that's important to collect. Sender email address, IP address, reverse lookup of the sender IP address, the subject line, the recipient email address. It might be in the CC or BCC field, the reply to email address. Sometimes you'll see threat actors use the reply to kind of hide it. If they're doing a spoofed email thing, they'll use reply to cover up the fact that it's going back to another email instead of going back to the one that you clicked whenever you hit reply, and then date and time. So here are different things we can look for in the email: any URL links, the name of attachments like any kind of PDFs, executables, RAR files, ISOs, etc., and the hash values of the attachment in either MD5 or SHA-256. I prefer SHA-256 as well. It does say preferably the latter. And be careful not to click on any links or attachments in the email accidentally. Now, if you are in a sandbox and you are doing this on purpose, free game. So, email header analysis. Some of the pertinent information that we need to collect can be obtained from visually just reading the email header. So we kind of did this in the first room that we did with phishing, but we'll look at some tools that can help us retrieve this information. There's a BAT tool from Google called Message Header from the Google Admin Toolbox. There's a link to its site right here. Use copy and paste the entire email header and run the analysis tool, and it looks like it just brings back some information here. I'll go ahead and zoom in. Like the message ID, when it was created, from, it looks like support at TechB, to whoever this Yahoo email is with this subject line, and it passes all these checks. And it shows looks like it basically just shows where it was coming from this IP address to this one, to that one, to Yahoo. And then there's Message Header and Analyzer at azurewebsites.net. Looks like we just dump in, you dump in the message header here, and then it gives us some similar information right here. And then mailheader.org. Pretty similar. Even though not covered in the previous phishing rooms, the message transfer agent is a software that transfers emails between sender and recipient, and there's some more information here. We'll also look at mail user agents here. So there's two links in the room if you're more interested about those. The option on which tool to use ultimately rests on us. It is good to have multiple resources, that is true. I like having multiple tools for the same thing because it basically allows us to double check, right? Now, one tool may specialize in one thing, another tool in another, and then you may just have gaps in certain tools. These tools can help analyze the sender's IP address at ipinfo.io. So this gives us all different information. Looks like this IP belongs in Kansas City, Missouri. It is registered to Google, so this is probably just a Google Mail. Basically, sorry, I'm getting messages and I'm getting distracted. But either way, it basically is it's owned by Google. And then there's urlscan.io, which is a cool little website that I actually use from time to time. You can put in URLs like this capiti1.com, and it gives you some information. It looks like it even looks at what's behind it. We contacted five IPs in 2 countries, 4 HTTP transactions, and it's been scanned 61 times with no verdict. We got Germany in here. Tells you what different technologies are involved in it. Provides a screenshot of the URL. Yep, that's one of my favorite things, is that it kind of just gives you a leak, like a peek behind what's the link. Okay, and the screenshot is provided. You don't have to navigate to the URL to explicitly interact with it. There are other tools that provide the same functionality, such as URL to PNG and Wanna Browser. I have never heard of either of these, but I'm going to definitely look into these. And Talos Reputation Center. Talos is a great tool, so definitely take a look at that one, and you can see different information about the URL there. What is the official site name of the bank that capiti1.com tries to resemble? That is going to be Capital One. That is just a brand of bank. So we'll go ahead into Mozilla over here on our VM and look up Capital One and see what its official URL is. So we can go to google.com here. Sure. I don't know why GTA 6 is trending, but probably more leaks. And we will look for Capital One Bank. So it's just www.capital1.com. The triple dubs. It probably doesn't want it. Capital1.com. So we hit submit. And we can go into the email body. So the email body is a little bit more interesting than headers. Headers are great for figuring out where the email came from, who it's going to. So if it's spear phishing, which is just targeted phishing, it'll let you know that, hey, this is going to the same person over and over again. You'll probably be getting the email from the user anyway, so you'll know who it was going to, but maybe it was intended for somebody else. The email body is going to have your phishing links, your phishing payloads, all of the sweet, juicy, malicious stuff. It's time to direct our focus to the email body. This is where the payload may be delivered to the recipient, either as a link or an attachment. They can be extracted manually, either from the HTML formatted email or by sifting through the raw email header. So, looks like we're going to the email, and then we're right-clicking and doing copy link location. The same can be accomplished with the assistance of a tool. We have one right here called convertcsv.com URL extractor.html or HTML or HTML in this instance. I know CyberChef can do it as well. If you have raw HTML, you can just dump it in there, and there's an extract URL function. So select your input, you throw in the raw HTML here, and then it goes through and has all of our URLs here. We see a few different devret.xyz links that probably were not what you were intending to click on. And then, oh yeah, see, it points it out right here. CyberChef can extract the URLs with the extract URLs recipe right over here in the extract URLs. It's important to note the root domain of the extracted URLs. That is probably going to be great for blocking the firewall or reporting as some form of indicator of compromise or attack. If you see DNS traffic going out to this compromised domain, more than likely it's not good. And you can either report it, or if you are managing the network, you can go ahead and just write a little report saying, hey, I'm noticing this malicious domain. We should probably block it. You can check the reputation URLs and root domain. Obviously, you would want to do this before reporting. You can use any of the tools mentioned in previous tasks to aid you in this. If the email has an attachment, you'll need to obtain it safely. In Thunderbird, you can just use the save button, so it just brings it down. After you obtain the attachment, you can get its hash. You can check the file's reputation with the hash to see if it's a known malicious document. There's a few different ways to do this. In Linux, SHA-256 sum, double jackpot slots, Las Vegas ... And it spits out our SHA-256 here, and then you would want to run this either through Talos or VirusTotal or Alien Vault or something similar. There are quite a few different ways to check hashes to see if they are known malicious. This is a low-hanging fruit for sure. It's not always going to be a win. You may have something that's unique, and it's not going to come up from a hash check. If you get to that point, then you're going to be wanting to drop this thing in a sandbox to see exactly what it's doing. But in this case, this hash does come back as malicious from Talos. It looks like we have a W32 auto junk.talos malware gen, it's a Trojan, it's a PDF Fisher. So more than likely just trying to get your credentials. And then, of course, VirusTotal. This is your SOC analyst's best friend. Throw the hash in there, comes back, shows you all the different vendors that find this to be malicious. You see Fortinet, you got McAfee, Microsoft, Avast, Thynet, Kaspersky, if that's even still a thing in America, which I don't think it is. Another tool is Reversing Labs, which also has a file reputation service. How can you manually get the location of a hyperlink? So you can manually get it. They want exact wording. I would just say copy it. Copy link location. They have it highlighted right up here at the top. So we'll go back down and type in copy link location. Answer malware sandbox. So this is where we're taking it a step further, right? We tried to check the hash and maybe it didn't come back with anything, so we can use sandboxes. I love Joe's sandbox, any.run. Things such as these are all phenomenal tools for sandboxing potential malware. Here we go, that's app.any.run right there. We can upload attachments from potentially malicious emails, see what URL it attempts to communicate with, what additional payloads are downloaded to the endpoint, persistence mechanisms, IOCs, etc. And then there's hybrid analysis. So hybrid analysis is pretty similar. And then Joe Security, which has the Joe Sandbox. And we just go ahead and hit complete. Move on to the next section. So that's basically all that's doing is giving you some insight on where these resources are located. So automated phishing analysis is PhishTool. What is PhishTool? It's a phish kit. SOC analyst responding to user-reported phishing. A threat intelligence analyst collects phishing IOCs, or an investigator dealing with email-borne fraud. PhishTool combines threat intelligence, OSINT, email metadata, and battle-tested auto-analysis pathways into one powerful phishing response platform. So that's basically their marketing words. There's a free community edition you can download and use. That's always nice. I uploaded a malicious email to PhishTool and connected VirusTotal to my account using a community API key. Here are the screenshots of the malicious email and PhishTool interface. So they got an email, bank slip, payment slip confirmation. You can see a few people are targeted here in the CC. That's a lot of different people, a lot of different domains. If you notice, you have a Green Co, Creative Machine Company, TBE.ie, quite a few different companies here. And it all goes back to this OES quit GRUparoles.com. and originating IP is 186.151.194.83. So quite a few different useful things here. This is all what we talked about, right? You want to see who it went to. You want to see where it came from, the original IP address, and it does look like it is actually coming from this GRU Parolsa domain, which means either it's a spoofed domain or possibly a compromised domain. And this is pointing out all the different things that it goes ahead and picks up. You can have an IP whois lookup. Whois is great. So here's hop1, received from GRU Parolsa.com. Alright, showing this coming from a 192.168 address, which is typically a private address. Notifies us that reply to no present, although it provides an alternative header information return path. To the right of the PhishTool dashboard, we can see the email body. There are two tabs, text and HTML. So here's the text version of the body. We've got it coming from China here, it seems. WeChat, WhatsApp, numbers, and the HTML. We sent the payment twice as an attached transfer request. That's what's right here. So this HTML there is what's right here. And then this just looks like some form of signature. In the right pane, it'll show if any URLs are found in the email. In this case, no URLs were found. But there is a .zip here, electronicwire.zip. We can get automatic feedback because they had the VirusTotal API key. And there's an ellipses at the far right above the image. If it is clicked, it'll give us other things like we can flag this file. And it runs strings for us, which is a handy little tool, command line tool that just drops all of the different strings that it finds, and we see that one of them is this randomly named pdf.exe. So it's named PDF so that you'll want to open it. .exe, it's going to be an executable, probably running some form of info stealer or backdoor or some other nonsense like that. So here's our hash. So we just got a generic Trojan here. Analysts can manually navigate to VirusTotal and do a file hash to look for more information. Any submissions you upload, you can flag as malicious and resolve with notes. The attachment file name and file hashes will be marked as malicious, and then you click on resolve and it finishes it up for you. They say here that they didn't go through and do any additional analysis on the domain name or the IP address, which is something you'd want to do. Didn't perform any research regarding the root domain the email originated from. And it can be further analyzed by uploading it to a malware sandbox to see what it's doing. All different things we talked about before this, right? All different steps. Look at the strings output. What is the name of the .exe file? So we have that strings output. It's this hashtag 4543. I can't copy paste this. I'm gonna go down. So hashtag 4543 26_PDF .exe. So now we're going to take what we learned and actually put pen to paper to get things going. We'll hit start machine to get this VM started. It'll spin up, and once it's done spinning up, I will go ahead and put it in a new tab. A level 1 SOC analyst. Several suspicious emails have been forwarded to you from other coworkers. You must obtain details from each email for your team to implement the appropriate rules to prevent colleagues from receiving additional spam and phishing emails. Use the tools discussed throughout this room to help you analyze each email header and email body. Deploy the machine attached to this task. It will be visible in the split view. And once it's done with the split view, we'll actually go ahead and get it in its own tab. So take a few to go ahead and let that load. And we'll go ahead and read the questions. What brand was the email tailored to impersonate? What is the from email address? What is the originating IP? They want us to defang it, which if you weren't in the previous streams or haven't watched those, defanging is just putting square brackets around the dot in the IP so that it can't be auto-navigated. And what you can gather, what do you think will be a domain of interest? Defang the domain. And what is the shortened URL? Defang the URL. Still taking a moment to go ahead and load. So we're almost done loading here. View in full screen. And we can close this out. So we have this email here. Go ahead and load it and blow it up. And full screen it, I suppose. Let me see, we have a bunch of information here. Holy moly. Alright, so we can go and look at, really, we can just take all of this and dump it in there, but let's go ahead and start with some manual analysis, just looking at it, not even using any tools. What brand was this email tailored to impersonate? So let's just go through here and look at different things. Oh, let's see. Just looking for the HTML body. Looks like Dollar General is here in the message a couple times. Multi-part message. We have a bunch of different CSS, HTML. It looks like this is just all formatting. Bunch of formatting. Okay. So because there's so much information here, we might actually employ the help of a tool. More simple emails, a little bit easier. Domain of, so it looks like there's no SPF from this ETKNO domain. Pretty interesting note. It does return back to that same domain. So we can go back up here and do like email body analysis. We can do things like go to this URL extractor here. Copy that and we'll go back to our machine over here. Clear out all this nonsense. Go ahead and paste and navigate. Yep. Take whatever cookies they give us. Take all of this. Copy the whole thing. Try to copy the whole thing. I have to do this the manual Samuel way. So basically I'm just holding shift, seeing if I can copy this whole thing. Shift and the down arrow, highlighting everything. It's a lot faster than trying to drag it and get the scroll bar to come with you. There's a way, not remembering it off the top of my head, unfortunately. There is a way to like do it very, very quickly. I think it's shift and down arrow plus another button. I'm not remembering it right now. But once this is all highlighted here, we will Control C to copy it out. Okay. Control C. Go back over here. Control V. And we have a few different URLs here. We have a few shortened URLs here. That tco, I believe is tinyco. I want to say tinyco is the t.co, which is a URL shortener. That was one of the questions, so that's nice to know. I'm not seeing anything else here that looks like it is too interesting. So why don't we try this right here. Go ahead and grab this. Open up a new tab, paste and navigate. And we'll just do the same thing, right? Copy all of this, which I could probably just copy it from the other tab. Let's see. Control Shift. Just hold up. Zoom through it all. Does take a second, but it's faster than using the mouse. I'm sure I'm probably going to get grilled in the comments. There's a faster way to do this. Yeah, there is. I'd have to Google how to do it off the top of my head, because I'm not usually copying this much data. Okay, so we'll Control C. Go into this new tool, paste it here, and analyze the header. And we see here, we have it all beautified here. So this is supposedly coming from Netflix. Your Netflix account is on hold. And we know that it did not come from Netflix. So, we can answer our first question at the very least. Phishing case 1. This is pretending to be Netflix. We know that much. What is the email from email address? Which would be this long string of nonsense here. Okay. My answer is too short. Is it? Seems to have been the Google, the from email address to me, but you know what? We can take a more manual look at this. Let's see. So we see here. Received from IP address. Mail. And we see it goes to another section here. Ah, it's this big long string here. So let's copy this right here in the brackets. Try this again. That's still too short. I have to wonder if the white space is messing things up. No, because it still wants it to be longer. Interesting. What's going on, FedEx? I think it's just the formatting's getting screwed up and things are... Because that is the from email address. Let's see. Is it the brackets that are messing things up? See, it's still... It looks like it's still... But there's no spaces here. I'm gonna try pasting this somewhere else and copying it again. I think something might be getting messed up. Give me 1 second here. Paste this somewhere else really, really quick. Cut it. Try again. Something's up here because that is the from email address. Let's see. Not sure. I think the formatting's a little messed up here. Because this is our from address. Does it want this whole thing, maybe? This is the tricky part about Tryhackme. What in the world happened here? Okay. That's not what I copied. Yeah, that's getting messed up desperately. So let's try just copying the whole thing here again. I'll include these brackets. I don't know what it's asking for. I know this is the from address. Something about the formatting is getting messed up when I paste. I'm not typing this out either, I'll tell you that much. Yes, I am inspecting the email header right now. For whatever reason, despite two different sources saying this is from the email address, or the from line, it's not accepting the answer. I think something got messed up with the formatting, because this is new, this whole underscore thing that they're doing here. It's all brand new. And then maybe I post the email after this. Where was that? So that's all right here. Yeah, okay. So you need the Netflix in there and then all of that, even though the email address is really, it's this. This is the email address. I don't know why they wanted the Netflix in there, and whenever I tried to paste it from over there, the formatting wasn't working. But either way, we worked through that. There's bumps in the road sometimes when it comes to these labs. What is the originating IP address? We saw that here. Let's see. So we have this originating email address. Just heard something. Some Windows machine somewhere made some noise. Yeah, I was trying. I did try that FedEx. I pasted it in another location, and the formatting was still messed up. So. So originating IP address. We can probably go back to our other browser here, and I'm sure one of these has it for us. Does not look like either of those have it, but maybe this one does. Neither of them. So 209.85, 167, 266 or 226 rather. Let's see. So yeah, because it goes to Google and then it makes it all of its jumps. So we'll grab this and we'll defang it, which is just putting it in here. Strange. This is acting all funky. You know what? We'll do it the simple way, and we'll just go to CyberChef and have it defang it for us. Thinking about it. So you can come in here. Yeah, see, there's some weird white space happening here. That's fine. Type in defang. Defang IP address, and it just does it for us. Easy peasy. Why do it the hard way? We have our defanged IP address here. From what you can gather, what do you think will be a domain of interest? Defang the domain. We saw this domain earlier when we were just taking first glances. We have this etechno.xyz, right? It's pretty interesting that it's coming from this, or supposedly coming from this. So we can do the defang again with defang URL. Go ahead and drop this out of here. We don't need this in here anymore, so you can just go ahead and drag it out. Copy paste. We have our domain here. We paste it in, hit submit, and what is the shortened URL? And defang that URL. We saw this when we pulled the URLs out from extract URL. We have these https t.co URLs. I don't know if it wants this one or the other one. We'll go ahead and go into CyberChef and have it defang it for us so that we don't have to do it ourselves. Paste it in there. Submit. So that was that email address. We can take it back, take a look back, even though this weird formatting thing happened. We can think about what we gathered and how we would use it in the real world, right? We have this originating IP address. We could dig into this, figure out where and who this belongs to. We have this domain. We can see when it was registered. We can see what it is. And then we have this shortened URL. There was a technique that we explored in the other one where you put a plus sign at the end of these URLs, and those URLs show you exactly what it was. Well, this is defanged. I'll go grab it here. I doubt this is stood up anymore, but worth a shot. Close out this tab. Go ahead and get a new one. Put a plus sign. Where does this go? So it looks like it goes to some... It's using LinkedIn. That's interesting. To go to priority surveyors, Metronic global plugins, JS query file upload server story. So it goes here. We don't know what this is, but it's something, right? It goes there. And that's just a neat little trick to see what's behind a shortened URL. So, scenario number 2. What's going on, Rhonda? Welcome. We have an any run link here to go to an analysis that was performed for us. So we are a level 1 SOC analyst. Several suspicious emails have been forwarded to us from other coworkers, and we have to find more information just as we did. A malicious attachment from an email is suspected in the previous phishing room. was uploaded to any run for analysis. So, this is our attachment, it seems. Oh boy. So you can kind of, with any run, you can kind of like, you see how I'm taking the mouse back and forth. I think I can zoom this in. It might break everything. It doesn't really make anything bigger. But you can take the mouse to view any screenshots that were taken, right? So we have this, what looks to be a PDF, payment update ID about PDF. It pops it up, and share files, so cool. It looks like we try to go to this weird link here with a 403 error. And then it's just looking at this all here, but we have HTTPS requests right here as well. You can see DNS requests, different DNS addresses that it tries to ping, any kind of connections it tries to make. So we see this weird process, rdrcef.exe. It looks like it's just making connections out, and we see it make a few different things. And we have Internet Explorer reach out to LIH, and we have this different process tree over here. So now that we're all kind of familiar with what's going on, we have this reader sl.exe. I'm sure that's totally not malicious at all. And we see right here, really quick, that Adobe ARMXE XBoot content was dropped or overwritten. So, what does any run classify this email as? Let's see. What does it classify it as? Generated doc, is that what it wants? Nope. Maybe it's looking for suspicious activity. Is this the classification here? Yep. What is the name of the PDF file? We have it right here, payment updated.pdf. We can just copy that. Copy. And we can try to copy it, probably not. We'll just type it in. Payment updated. Is it underscore? I'm sure. Underscore updated. No? Oh, payment update ID. Payment dash update ID. .pdf. And what is the hash? We have the hash right here. This is just an MD5 hash. They want the SHA-256. So we have to grab that. We have a threat here. Oh, interesting. Percentage bad traffic. Let's see here. Trying to find the hash for this file here, the SHA-256 that is. We have a MD5 here. FedEx wondering why they would click it. Yeah. We all wonder, but sometimes you're just going fast and you click on things. They have the 256 here for us, somewhere files. Any information? Not seeing it. I don't want to download it, I'll tell you that much. There should be a text report for us. Oh, there it is. I'm just overlooking it. Here we are. There's our SHA-256. Helps when you read. So that's our file identifier. What two IP addresses are classified as malicious? We can keep going through here. See different things that it tried to do. Particularly interested in the network traffic right now. Past this, go to our network activity. So we have one right here. Go ahead and grab it. Go back to our, we don't need this anymore. Go back to CyberChef. And defang the IP address. We'll go here, paste it. We have our defanged IP address. We have one. And then we'll have to go ahead and grab the second one. Let's see. We have our second IP address here. Did I grab it already? I believe so. Is that the same one I grabbed? 107.24. No. So 107.83 is our second one. Go ahead and grab our second one. Paste it in there. Now, what Windows process was flagged as potentially bad traffic? We did catch a glimpse of that earlier. We have to go find our potentially bad traffic here. Its process is just a dash, but we did see it in here as well. Threats from service host XE as potentially bad traffic. On to our final phishing case. We have a new any.run report. CyberChef is great, yeah. FedEx brings up that CyberChef is such a great tool. I mean, I'll go ahead and bring the chat box up because we do have people chatting. Wow, this one is very, very blatantly malicious activity, and we have some Chinese right there in Excel. We go to a couple different countries here. Let's see. Some domain and two threats. We have a macro, and then potentially bad traffic from this eqnedT32.exe file. We'll go ahead and bring up the text report. Everything about this seems super duper safe. Let's see. You see that macro popped up? Where did it pop up at? There in here. So it looks like it brings up this regasms.exe, and then it fails because it tried to interact with the CPU with an illegal instruction. So what do they want to know? What is this analysis classified as? This is malicious activity. Right up here at the top. Bright red with a radioactive symbol and everything, or virus symbol. What is the name of the Excel file? The name of this Excel file is right here. I'm sure it's in our text report here. Yep, right here at the top. A bunch of letters and numbers, .xlsx. We can copy and paste that. What is the SHA-256? Right here at the top. So this is basically just developing that muscle memory, right? You make this report. It's given to you all this information. This is everything that's important that you need to know. The name, file hash. What domains are listed as malicious? We have 3 domains. I want to say it was in alphabetical order they want us to do as well. Let's see. We can go out here to our report. Network activity, we have 3 domains, B, F, and F. I want to say these are 3 domains. So this is alphabetical order. They want it defanged. Go back over here, defang our URL. Got our first one. Alright, make sure to put a comma. Grab our second one. And grab our third one. Paste it all in and hit submit. What IP addresses are listed as malicious? Same thing here. Submit the answers from lowest to highest. This feels like more like a counting test now. Let's see here. So lowest to highest, we have this one. Go back in here and defang the IP address. This out. Might just go ahead and do this the easy way instead of one at a time. 103. At least they made the numbers nice and easy to differentiate for us. 204. A little bit of white space in there on accident. And then we have this. Go ahead and copy all of them and paste them on in. It puts the commas in there for us, thankfully. What vulnerability does this malicious attachment attempt to exploit? That is a good question. It looks like it is trying to exploit macros. Or the allowed macros, that is. But we can go through here and just look at the different processes that it tries to do. So we have this Excel file that has the auto runs enabled. Pretty easy here. Behavior activities. Checks this in, doing a bunch of things that a normal one would want to do. Well, that's CV 2017 11 882. So I don't know what that one is off the top of my head. Be nice to Google it and see what it is. What is this doing? Microsoft Office 2007 Service Pack 3 and Service Pack 2, and a bunch of different affected memories, allows an attacker to run arbitrary code in the context of the current user by failing to properly handle objects in memory. Okay. So, it's just it's basically abusing the memory to run arbitrary code with macros here. Apparently Skeleton Closet, MS Office vulnerability you didn't know about. We have Unit 42's analysis of it. A few different resources to go learn more about it, but we have the name right here. Submit it, and on to the conclusion. So, all in all, that was basically a analysis of different email tools. We went through and actually looked at some malicious emails, grabbed some different IOCs that would be very useful in the day-to-day, and here we are. We have some more tools right here, and thank you so much for joining. I think overall the room was great. I would say it's pretty practical, right? The last two rooms we did were all very much theory-based, even though there was that one that we had to reconstruct a PDF for. That was kind of strange, but either way, very, very practical way of going about and looking at phishing emails and grabbing some very useful IOCs. That PhishTool seemed interesting. There were a few different tools that they shouted out that I love to run, like any.run and Joe's Sandbox, things like that. So Yeah. 2017, it's old. It's old, but it's still used. FedEx, nice work. Thank you very much. So I'm going to go ahead and call it there. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next Monday at 5 o'clock.